importance of this match can't be understated. Both sides coming into this game with 1 win and 1 loss, putting them right in the middle of a very tight points table. Steve, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, can't wait. Carl, it's going to be a great game. These teams both, as you said, won all, but also they both came up against Pakistan, so there's a bit of a common denominator there. But yeah, probably the batters at the top of Bangladesh I'm really looking forward to having a look at. Jishan Alam picked up 73 off 46, getting man of the match in the second game of the tournament against Nepal, so really looking forward to him whacking them around the park.
Yes, definitely. He was in fine form yesterday, Jishan Alam, with his 73. The leading run scorer as Bangladesh posted 186 against Nepal. He was well supported by Asif Hussain, who made 48 off only 23 balls. Well, what can we expect from the Perth Scorchers bowling attack today?
Yeah, they've been pretty consistent so far. They've got a good mix of fast bowlers and spinners as well. But it'll be interesting to see what sort of score is par today. The earlier game today, the scores were a little bit lower, down 139 for the Chicago Kingsmen, who defeated the Adelaide Strikers with 121. So yeah, it's probably, I think it's the third time this deck's been used. So it'll be interesting to see what a par score is.
Definitely. The experienced Matthew Kelly has come out of the Perth Scorchers lineup, so it looks like it will be Brodie Crouch, to open proceedings from the airport end. He will bowl to the left-handed Alam. Inside the power play, we have 2 fielders out, a deep point and fine leg. So we're moments away from getting underway, well into the middle of the top-end T20 series, sponsored by NT Tourism.
Opening bowling from the bowler right end for the Perth Scorchers, number 5, Brodie Crouch.
Perth Scorchers will be looking to do the job with the ball again. Yesterday they were able to take early wickets in the power play, restricting the Pakistan Shaheens to only 111 for their first innings. Wickets at the top to Matthew Kelly, who isn't playing today, while their spin duo of Corey Rockacholi and Lucas Holt were able to control the middle overs. They'll be looking to have an important impact on today's game again.
Yeah, Holt's had a couple of good outings so far. He's picked up 2 wickets in both games and bowled quite economically as well.
So a slight delay as we wait for proceedings to begin here, but it's another lovely Darwin night. We've been treated to fantastic conditions all the way through this top-end T20 series, highlighting the world-class offering of Darwin as a cricket venue at this time of year, Steve.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it up here, mate. I'm a Melburnian myself, but yeah, loving the weather, loving the friendly people. NT Tourism's got a pretty easy job, I reckon, because it's an amazing place. So all our listeners around the world, 100% get over here if you can. And if you're lucky enough to get to Australia, you definitely want to get up the top.
Umpire John Ganane is in position. Looks like we will just have another moment or two before the first ball is delivered. The umpires are coming together. Guess it's a moment to talk about this fantastic opportunity for emerging players, both domestically and internationally, to put their name in lights through the top-end series, Steve.
Yeah, there's been a lot of guys who've made their mark last year who are now regular Big Bash players.
Here we are. The first ball, Crouch to Alam. It's full of length, guided through backward point for a single. Bangladesh off the mark with the single off the first ball. It was a promising power play for this pair yesterday. They were able to score 42 off the first 4 overs. Naeem Sheikh contributing 25 off 18 before he was caught off the spin of Lamashane. So left hand on strike, we have a deep third and deep backward square. Fine leg is inside the ring as Crouch approaches for the second delivery. Full again, shapes into the pads, inside edge with a stifled appeal. Dot ball to open the account for Sheikh.
Yeah, just half a shout there. Looks like he's going to be going length with that field.
Steve, the power play is so crucial in determining these T20 matches. What do you think the tactics are here from the Bangladesh batters?
Oh, obviously they'll be looking to go hard, long and straight with this field. Just depends on the bowler, what's he going to come up with here.
Crouch to Sheikh. Full driving back down the ground, unable to beat the bowler, and that's back-to-back dots. And whenever you get back-to-back dots, you start to feel a little bit of pressure, certainly when you're not off the mark.
Yeah, certainly early when the power play's on as well. You'd love as a batsman to take a few balls to get in. You don't want to go too hard too early, so it's just that balancing act between making the most of the power play, but also not throwing your wicket away early and putting the pressure on the next guy.
No wind to speak of. Perfect conditions. Pitch looks like there's even bounce and carry with good pace for both bat and ball. Crouch again, pressing forward this time, wide of mid-off. Sheikh is off the mark with a single, 2 off the first 4 deliveries. A circumspect start so far.
Yeah, they're pretty good in the field too, the Scorchers, so Bangladesh should be aware of that. Probably the beauty of having a young team. Everyone can dive around.
So here's Alam to face Crouch, 5th ball of the over. It's full and straight, defended to mid-on, and there'll be no run. Controlled start from Bangladesh here, but they certainly provided fireworks yesterday. Jashim Alam hitting 4 4s and 5 6s on his way to 73 off 46, a match-winning knock as they defeated Nepal in front of a great crowd at DXC Arena. It's been terrific to see the support from the multicultural community here in Darwin. Shorter into the wicket this time. Off-pace delivery. Alarm's able to help that onto the leg side and jog through for another single. Just waiting for... Bringing Sheikh, the left-hander, back onto strike. Again, defended back down the wicket. So Crouch has been going full early to start, trying to see if he can get any swing or movement from this new ball. And that concludes the first over. None for 4. So as we move our attention to the Michael Long end, looks like we'll have a deep square leg and deep points, deep third as the 2 allotted fielders out. And Bryce Jackson, the right arm quick, will bowl the second over. Got a slip in play with a vacant cover region. Short of a length, Alarm swings hard, unable to make contact as the ball hits him in the midriff. He'll give that a rub. Might have been the lower hand as he shakes away a little bit of discomfort there. Interesting field here, Steve, with the slip and open cover region. Might be trying to swing the ball away from the right-hander.
Yeah, in the evening you definitely got more chance of swinging it around in these conditions, so I really like the attacking field here.
It may just be a little bit more of a blow there than we first saw. Alarm's gesturing to the dugout, but it looks like he will be okay to continue. Might have just got him on that funny spot of the elbow. It's just shaking the tingles away there. And as we know, a lot of these subcontinental players use that bottom hand so much to play square of the wicket, Steve. So let's hope that that hasn't done too much damage to the stroke play of Alarm.
You didn't want to give too much away. You don't want to let the bowler know you've been hit, do you?
Jackson returns. Back of a length again. Worked to the leg side. Just the single. Fielder comes in. Tegan Wiley off the fence there.
Yeah, very reserved start here. That's okay though. Still got plenty of time. Probably haven't faced a lot of these guys before.
Always time to still have a look early. With wickets in hand, you can certainly capitalise in the back end, especially with the power surge. There's the first aggressive shot of the evening. Sheikh giving himself room before hitting hard over mid-on. Great shot, the first boundary of the innings for Bangladesh. They make their way to 9. Steve, an impressive shot.
Yeah, great shot. Just over pitch there. Just again, the bowling didn't match the field, so it was pretty much a very low risk shot to be able to hit over the top, right in the slot.
Right out of the middle. One bounce over the fence. Will that bring about a change in the field? It looked like it will. This slip is coming out to provide some reinforcement to the cover field, so we may expect Jackson to look to move a little bit wider with his length and line. Straighter, up in the air, Sky, deep third coming in, and well held, the first wicket. Great catch there, coming in off the fence, Khelabd xyz. So Jackson taking the first wicket for the Perth Scorchers. We mentioned yesterday they were able to take wickets throughout the power play to put the Pakistan Shehans under all sorts of trouble. Now today they've claimed their first wicket in the second over. Sheikh caught for 5 off the bowling of Jackson.
Yeah, beautiful catch there. Always tough diving forward, but that was very cleanly taken, very athletic.
That will bring Mohammad Saif Hassan to the crease. Just the 13 of 13 last night before he was run out. So he'll be looking to make a more significant contribution to the Bangladesh team this evening.
Again, all the early dots probably brings that pressure, doesn't it? Only the one boundary so far.
Sheikh was able to get that boundary over mid-on to break the shackles. He looked to back it up, a back-of-length ball, tried to heave over the deep square leg boundary. There was a fielder out there, so a risky shot. All he was able to do was top edge to deep third for a well-judged catch. 2 balls remaining in the second over. Hassan has a deep third and deep square as we see the slip remain to the right hand and still that gap at cover with a cover point and backward square on the offside. It's full, directed into leg stump, helped down to deep square. Hassan opens his account with a single, bringing Alarm back onto strike. You expecting Alarm to continue his aggressive ways from yesterday, or will the early wicket keep the reserve start that we've seen so far?
I think it could take a few balls to get in, but yeah, definitely he just loves to take the bowling on. They've now actually put the cover back in, so the slip is out. Initially they were trying to entice that cover drive, but now they've blocked it up.
back of a length. Think about a short single, deciding against the risk. And it's a dot ball to finish. 6 off the first over for Jackson. Taking that wicket leaves the score at 1 for 10 after 2. But no doubt the Perth Scorchers and their coaching staff would have done the analytics and review from the Bangladesh innings yesterday. And they'll have, considered the areas that Alam and Hussain, along amongst others, were able to score in, and looking to restrict those areas this evening.
Yeah, that's right. All the teams have got analysts these days. There's so much information that they've got access to, so they can really do a lot of homework coming in.
Will be Brodie Couch to continue. He'll bowl his second over from the airport end. No slip. Deep third and deep square leg. Hassan on strike. Full. Driven out. Well held in backward point. A little bit of width from Crouch. Hassan looking to free his arms. All he was able to do was get a skied ball to backward point. Hands, fingers facing up, but well held. And they've lost their second wicket. A little bit of trouble for Bangladesh.
Yeah, he just didn't do over or under there. He just sort of got a bit stuck in between and pretty much made catching practice there for Wiley. Took it very comfortably. Great work by Couch.
So it'll be decision time for Alam and the new batter to the crease, Alif Hassan Drobo. How will they go about resurrecting this Bangladesh innings with the early loss of 2 wickets? While the Perth Scorchers, they'll be pleased with the ability that they've shown throughout this top-end series to take early wickets. And as we said, they've got control through the middle overs with Corey Rockacholi. He'll be a key part, one of the most experienced figures in this 2025 top-end series. Played a lot of Big Bash cricket. Bangladesh really looking to put some pressure back onto the bowlers after this strong start from the Perth Scorchers.
Yeah, they haven't really given them too much to hit so far. As much as we love to see the batters take on the power play, you can only deal with what's dished up, and so far the bowling's been some pretty good areas.
The pleasing thing for the Bangladesh fans is it is 2 in-form batters at the crease. We mentioned Alam's 73 yesterday, while Hussain was able to chip in with 48. So the dominant partnership from last night's match at the crease now. Left-handed Hussain with a deep third, deep backward square, while the slip is back in play. Couch full. Hassan defends to the cover for no run.
Yeah, 1 ball is all I've seen of him live, and I can already see that he's just got time. He just looks like he's a class act.
Solid at the crease, not a lot of foot movement, trusting the eye, as many of the modern day player do. Steve, we talked about the importance of this match. Both teams coming in with 1 win and 1 loss. There's a lot on the line tonight.
Certainly is.
Couch to Hussain, back of a length, again defending to the offside. No run.
Yeah, it's always a combination of the competitiveness and also developing your young players, because a lot of these teams are academy squads, so they want to try and expose the whole squad at some stage, but at the same time they want to try and win as well. So no doubt they'll have their experienced players play most games, and then they'll just rotate the young ones through.
Without a doubt. The stakes are high, not only for a final spot, but many of these players striving for higher honours, either domestically or internationally. Couch to continue. Full, again defended. So Hussain is happy to just get the pace of the wicket, get familiar with the conditions, as he looks to build an innings that can post a defendable total for Bangladesh. 4 dots for this over for Brodie Crouch. A very tidy start.
Yeah, very tidy. As you said earlier, the dots does sometimes bring pressure, possibly a rash shot. If he's going to go big, it's going to be straight again. We've got deep third man and a wideish fine leg on the boundary.
Mentioned that the Perth Scorchers were able to restrict the Pakistan Shehans to only 111 yesterday. But Brody Crouch did go for a few runs, 38 off his 3.5. So just a tick under 10 and over. So he'll be happy with his economical start this evening. 2 back on the leg side. It is short and just edged over the top. We had a keeper and a slip in play, diving, outstretched hands, unable to get enough hand on it to prevent the ball going away to the boundary, and that will release a little bit of pressure for Hussain.
Yeah, it just got big on him there. Has been signalled as the one short ball for the over by the square leg. But it really took off.
Did look to lift the ball over the slip fielder, so we'll give Hussain a little bit of credit there, but probably a little bit closer to the outstretched keeper than he may have had in mind. Joel Curtis with the gloves for the Perth Scorchers tonight. They do have a number of keepers in their squad. It's been Baxter Holt in the opening games, but Curtis entrusted behind this stumps tonight. Final ball of this third over, left outside the off stump, so that will be a dot to finish. The 4 runs with that boundary over slip off the over. Well, it was another wicket to start the proceedings as just checking that we are happy to conclude the over. So umpire John Ganane gives Brody Couch his hat, and we're underway. We've got the final over of the power play here. Steve, what were you expecting from the Bangladesh batting pair?
Yeah, I think those 2 wickets have really curtailed what they were probably planning to do, but as I say, these two are going to be the key. Massive partnership here, and things can change very, very quickly. So they're both talented enough that they can manipulate the field as well. They don't rely on just going over the top, so even when the field spreads a little bit, they've still got the capacity to score quickly.
Will be Bryce Jackson to continue from the Michael Long Learning Centre end. Wouldn't be surprised if the batting pair just try and chance their arm while there is still 2 fielders out. Jackson full of a length, defended down to deep third, will just be the single as the return throw comes in. Deep third and deep square, so continuing with that approach. Just as I say that, deep square fielder looks to be coming inside the ring. So the left-handed Hussain. So got a cover and cover point. The score is 15 into this 4th over. So Bangladesh behind the rate they would have been hoping for. Can they find a way to put some pressure back onto the Perth Scorchers? Jackson's full as Hussain drives and finds the gap. Lovely timing and traditional cover drive there, Steve. Don't always need to be over the top to find the boundary. That was well played.
100% cricket shots will stand the test of time for sure. So any ball that's full, half volley length can easily be put away in that situation, and it was beautifully done.
Jackson returns to the top of his mark, as we see on the replay. Great balance. Hands came through the ball. This next ball is on the hip. Worked down to short fine for no run.
Yeah, certainly the game has changed with the introduction of T20 cricket and the 360s, but the cover drive and the beautiful straight drives, the on drives, they all still entertain, regardless of the format.
It's brought about a change in the field. Deep third coming up inside the ring. We've got a deep mid wicket, so 2 back on the leg side, where we see a short delivery. It's full into leg stump. Worked 2 backward square for 1. Probably happy to entice the batter to hit to the long boundary out there with 2 out in protection, Steve.
Yeah, that was comfortably played, that one, though, just off the hip. Got down the other end, and, yeah, plenty of singles about.
So a crucial partnership for Bangladesh here. Both batters, the ability to score quickly. They're currently looking to build their innings and set a platform for the remaining overs. Jackson Alam deep in his crease. Guides the ball backward of point. Was in the air for a little while. Backward point, thought he was half a chance, but he's able to come back for 2 as the ball was wide of deep third.
Yeah, very well controlled there. Just popped it over the top. Again, just looks like he's got a little bit more time than most.
So 1 ball remaining in this power play. As we see, again, 2 back on the leg side, but a shorter boundary to the leg side for the right-hander. Will Alam looks to take on this last delivery. Jackson, slower ball, work to the leg side. Look, they think about 2. Alam wanted it, but Hussain was happy to send him back. So that concludes the first 4 overs of this Bangladesh batting innings. The score is 2 for 23.
Yeah, I think the Bangladesh dressing room will be a little bit more relaxed now watching these two. Got himself out of a bit of a spot of bother early. And now they've got a little bit of a platform to work with. You can see them now starting to spread the field.
It looks like a change of bowling from the airport end. Albert Esterhusen coming in. He played match number 1, was left out yesterday in the win over the Pakistan Shehans. So he will be looking forward to a strong performance tonight.
Still a teenager. Plenty of promise.
So we see the field retreat. We've got 4 fielders out. This ball's driven wide of the deep cover fielder. That will be another 2 to Alam. And Steve, that ability to find your 2s and 3s on a big ground and accumulate your score with low risk could be crucial as Bangladesh look to build their total.
Yeah, even more so here at TIO. A little bit bigger than a couple of the other grounds, and you really need to make sure that you are not just thinking 4s and 6s, because as you say, there's plenty of space out there for the 2s if you can actually put it out in the right spot.
As Alam makes himself comfortable at the crease. Stefan driven back to mid-on, an aggressive shot, looking to put pressure onto the young fast bowler. Mistimed and a dot ball. Do you think that might be an approach, looking to put the young quick under a bit of pressure early?
Yeah, possibly trying to intimidate the young fella at this stage.
That shot has brought about deep, long on going back, so the sign of aggression sees a more defensive field. Esterhuisen's back of a length and some good pace.
Yes, I was talking about he's got some promise. You can push him through. A lot of bounce there. Obviously, he's grown up with bouncy wickets, and that looked like he was playing at the old whacker there. Really pushed it through.
Just a fantastic job the curators and ground staff are doing here at NT Cricket. These wickets have had a lot of cricket. We saw obviously the T20 internationals between Australia and South Africa here at TIO Stadium, and the wickets still with plenty of pace and bounce. This time's slower into the wicket. An appeal for LB and given. Umpire John Ganane considered the decision. Alam staying in his crease with a look of bewilderment. He rehearses his shot. The slower ball deceiving Alam. Esterhuisen backing up that quick, short of a length ball with a fuller delivery aimed at the stumps. And it brings about the undoing of Alam.
Yeah, great bowling. You can see why he's earned himself a rookie contract with the WA Cricket Association. They've been watching him for a while, and he's certainly proving those selectors correct.
As we see the replay here, it was a off-cutter, slower ball, strong support from Joel Curtis behind the wicket. Zalam looked to loft that onto the onside, was unable to make contact, and now the third wicket down for Bangladesh. They are 3 for 25.
Yeah, he does look a little bit perplexed there. If it was going to miss, it was possibly going down the leg side and possibly a bit high, but the umpire saw enough to raise the finger, and he's on his way.
Crucial wicket, the player of the match last night for Bangladesh. That will be a devastating blow to their batting lineups. While we welcome to the crease the captain Narul Hassan for confirmation of that.
Yeah, just on the last dismissal, possibly might have been umpire's call anyway. Just haven't got the luxury of going upstairs tonight. Got a couple of very experienced umpires out there, always do a great job.
Looks like the early wickets may have caused about a change in the batting lineup. As Esther Hoyson returns, and it's short again. Well directed, right at the badge there. As Ancon is able to duck under that one. A lively start to welcome him to the crease.
Yeah, he started well here. 1 for 2 off his first over, 1 ball to go. Looks much more relaxed now, walking back to the top of his mark.
Islam Ancon to face his second ball. Fuller this time, outside off stump. Helped on its way out to deep point. And that concludes an excellent first over for the returning Albert Esterhusen. 1 for 3 off his first over. Nice pace and bounce.
Yeah, they've got a good one here, I think. I think we'll see a fair bit of him in the future. Good pace. Extra height helps as well. Very athletic in the field. Could be one for high honours down the track.
And it's not going to get any easier for Bangladesh. We've seen the introduction of Corey Roccacelli, the tall bounding off spinner. He's got the ability to slide the ball on with the arm or turn it back into the right-handed batters. He was in complete control in yesterday's match. Here is Roccacelli. Flighted and beaten on the outside half. That's what we talked about. He showed the ability to drift the ball away from the right-hander and get that ball to just slide on. Ancon just playing for a little bit of spin and was beaten outside his outside edge. This time, ball is driven back to Roccacelli. He's able to get an outstretched hand to that, preventing a single and a second dot ball. Super economical in yesterday's match. Corey Roccacelli only going for 14 runs of his allotted 4 overs. Fuller this time, driven to short cover. Ancon unable to find timing or the gap in his first 5 deliveries. Pressure building with 1 off 5 and an experienced bowler at the crease. Change in the field. We're seeing another fielder go to the offside. So we've got extra protection behind point. Driven into the offside, finds the gap to the cover fielder. They think about 2 before being sent back. First runs of the bowling of Roccacelli in his 4th delivery. Bangladesh at 3 for 27, well behind the race here. What can they be hoping to post from this position, Steve?
Yeah, well, it's really just as I say, we just need a partnership. So they'd still be hoping they'd be able to get 140 plus, but they might have to reassess their expectations. But it's going to come down a lot to these two. If they can get them through the next sort of 5 to 10 overs at least, then that'll allow them to free their arms a little bit at the back end.
Sane just needs to be careful if he's looking to play for spin here. We've seen Roccacelli beat the inside half of the left-handed batters throughout this tournament. Oh, there he is. What a delivery. Pressed forward, unsure if the ball was sliding on or spinning past him. He's able to scamper through for a leg bye, but Roccacelli, impressive start. As we've mentioned, he's an experienced campaigner in Big Bash level. Played both with the Melbourne Stars and Melbourne Renegades, but now calls Perth home. He's performed well in Shield cricket as well. This time forward, just defended with soft hands into the offside. They're able to hurry through for a single. So 2 runs off the bat with a leg bye off Roccacelli's first over. The score is 3 for 29 after 6.
Yeah, Bangladesh should be fully aware of the score in the earlier game today, where the Chicago Kingsmen were able to defend 139. Adelaide Strikers falling just short. So the expectations probably aren't as high as they were in the previous days, where there was some scores up getting close towards the 200 mark. So they'll know that they just need to take it deep and make it a competitive score and then back their bowlers in.
Esther Hyson to continue from the airport end. Just the 4 fielders out, so they've elected Sam Fanning, the Perth Scorchers captain, to have 1 additional fielder inside the ring, trying to tighten the screws as they hold the upper hand. Back of a length, guided down to deep fine for a single. Perth Scorchers will be delighted with how the opening proceedings have gone so far, Steve.
Yeah, no, they've done everything right so far. They've bowled good areas, they've fielded well, good catch as well. So yeah, they've made a really promising start here. And they'll be aware that, yeah, there's a pretty good batter in the shed, so they'd be quite happy about that.
Yes, a lot less resting with Hussain for the Bangladesh side here. Can he find a way to build their total? Onto the hip there, worked onto the leg side. You have to think that the Scorchers are happy with singles at this point in the match.
Yeah, that's right. They've got the 3 wickets already, so they can just really make sure they do plug the boundaries now. They've got the flexibility to put some people out, stem the boundaries, build that pressure up with the dots, and they're going to be a very, very easy chase the way things are going at the moment.
Again, bowled into the wicket on a tight line. Worked down to deep square for another single. Steve, we do say that, and we've mentioned how well the Perth Scorchers bowled yesterday, but they did lose 8 wickets in their run chase of 111 against the Pakistan Shaheens yesterday. They were cruising, elected to take the power surge with 38 runs to get and 8 wickets in the shed before the wrist spin. Left-arm bowler Akram was able to take 5 for not many at all. So any total over 100 could be providing some pressure. Ramped outside to deep third there, helped on its way, hang in the air for a long time. The fielder was able to come around and collect it on the bounce. Again though, some great pace and bounce from Esther Hyson, really showing some promising signs, and it could just be another one in the pace battery that the WA cricket state has been able to produce. You think of the likes of Lance Morris, Jai Richardson in recent years, to name a few. This time back of a length again. Ankon deep in his crease, works that to the square leg umpire for 1.
And going back further, Mitchell Johnson, of course. So in terms of scores, we've got a couple of wild cards really, and obviously with Alarm gone, a lot's going to rely on Teague Wiley when they get their chance to bat the Scorchers. Mentioned earlier about the mix of experienced players who've played a fair bit of Big Bash cricket versus the ones who are still developing. So yeah, I think there's key wickets in both sides. So a lot of it's going to come down to their best players performing.
Field has gone back. We've got 4 on the leg side deep. Defending into the vacant cover. Hussein's happy to just keep building. He's made his way to a runner ball 12 off 12. We saw that elegant cover drive for 4. Otherwise, it's been a circumspect start.
Yeah, I think that's his go. He just needs to continue to stay still, play his cricket shots, not try and reinvent the wheel and do things that aren't in his skill set. He's just got to play to his strengths and make sure that he's still there 15 overs and beyond, and try and actually give these guys a chance to actually support him.
So the off spin of Rockacholi to continue. Only 2 runs off the bat in his first over. They're full of confidence here, the Perth Scorchers, as we see a slip come in. They are looking to continue to take wickets through these middle overs. It's a high bounding action from Rockacholi. Another excellent domestic season in WA. He's really put his name up in lights as one of the prominent spinners in Australian cricket circles. The reverse sweep comes out, high over deep, short third. He has to run to the boundary, will not collect it, got a hand to it. It looked like he would be able to save the boundary. A welcome 4 runs for Bangladesh, and Hussain looking to get inventive and put a little bit of pressure back onto the bowler with that reverse paddle over deep short third. Just enough bat to clear the fielder there, Steve.
Just enough. High risk, high reward though, isn't it? You've got to do that.
Rockacholi returns. Full outside off, driven firmly to mid-off. Nice timing from Hussain. Certainly showing that he's got the talent to mix it at this level and maybe above. I mean, for this Bangladesh side, there will be players eyeing off a berth potentially in the T20 World Cup to come in India and Sri Lanka early next year. Ankon now on strike. Great length. An appeal and given. Joel Curtis, the wicketkeeper, was fumbling, trying to find the ball. Might have been caught in between his pads. The umpire took some time to determine that the catch was legally held. And now 4 wickets down, Bangladesh. Rockacholi takes his first for this evening. That is not what the Bangladesh side needed.
No, Ankon looks a bit disappointed too. It'd be interesting to have a look at the replay there. Seemed genuinely upset, but again, they're always tough to call those caught behind when the keeper is at the stumps.
As we wait for the replay of that dismissal of the catch from the keeper, Joel Curtis. Let's see what we can find. It was outside off, spun through the gate, so an inside edge. Curtis was happy straight away. It was more trying to find his feet for the appeal than the catch. It looks like it was well held on the second or third opportunity. So Rockacholi showing his skills, able to drift that ball outside off stump before spinning it back through the gate. An ideal wicket for the off spinner.
Yeah, very dejected as he comes off there, but he managed to hold it together. A couple of deep breaths and he was on his way, didn't make a scene.
So we mentioned that the Bangladesh skipper Hassan was originally listed to come in at 5. He's come in at number 6 as he seeks to use his leadership and experience to rebuild this innings at 4 for 40 in the 8th over. Rockacholi playing from the crease with soft hands. They think about a single to short backward point. Fielder came quickly in off the ring. The last thing they need is a run out. They do need to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah, again, it's a balancing act, isn't it? You need to get those quick singles, but at the same time, it would be a disaster if they lose a wicket with a run out at this stage.
Hassan is the key, so maybe wanting to avoid the danger end, the left-handed non-striker. Pacholi is into the wicket again, able to bounce the ball off a length. Shahan unable to work it onto the onside, so he remains yet to open his account. Hussain's 17 off 15 holds the key for Bangladesh to post a competitive total. Looks like we will have another change from the airport end. Matthew Spores giving his hat to the umpire John Ganane, marking out his run-up. Joel Curtis up to the stumps. We've got deep mid-off, deep long on, deep mid-wicket, deep cover and deep point are the fielders out. It's a big open ground here at TIO Stadium, so you can build the innings with 2s and 3s as they look to accumulate with low risk here. Plenty of space on the onside, no one saving one in front of the wicket. Leg spin of Spores does bowl into that area. Fielder's quick off the boundary. Prevents a second run, Nicholas Hobson in the deep.
Yeah, genuine all-rounder Spores, listed to come in at number 7 today, a bit later on. Looking forward to having him out there with the bat in hand as well. The way things are going, he might not need to have a hit. They really need to push on and get that score up closer to 100.
Here is Spores. Wide. Just guided behind deep third. Clever shot to open his account. Hassan Shohan, so he's now off the mark with a tidy 2. Trying to use the full 360 degrees that the batter has on offer. Doesn't always have to be back down the ground. So a nice start for him. He'll be looking to build on a low campaign so far. Only the 27 runs in the first 2 matches. Presses forward, finds the gap to the left of cover to get off strike and bring Hussain back to the crease. What can Hussain do here with the ball spinning into him? Short leg side boundary. Just works that one. That might be in the gap of the 2 deep fielders. Yet to collect. They do decide to come back. And well judged 2 runs. Able to pierce the gap between the 2 deep fielders.
Yeah, great batting there. Just pace off there. Didn't want to smack it hard enough that the boundary rider could come in and cut off that second run. And he was quick enough between the wickets to get back and get that 2.
This one's wider outside off, well flighted, good line and length from Spores, the leg spinner there. Turning the ball back in to Hussain, who was only able to defend. This one's full again, half an appeal, might have been an inside edge as it trickled down to short fine leg. So 2 dots to conclude Spores' first over. He ends well. None for 6 to open his account.
Yeah, they've been using the spin in combination a fair bit in this tournament. These two have already had some success together.
So Nurul Hassan Shohan, the captain for Bangladesh here tonight, known as being an innovative and dynamic player, is well respected throughout the Bangladesh Premier League. Looking to stamp his mark on this match and this series. Bangladesh, who made it to the final of last year's campaign. Rockacholi is full, and there is the reverse sweep. Very fine. We'll have to confirm whether there is any bat on that as they come back for a 2. A sliding save from the fielder. Meters inside the boundary. So we've already seen Shahan looking to access the ground behind the wicketkeeper and give the bowler something to think about.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much the only boundary that hasn't got a boundary rider.
A modest campaign thus far. Shahan looking to impress tonight. Rockacholi is full. Worked onto the leg side. They consider a 2. They push for 1. Hussain is again not interested in coming back to the danger end. He knows he's the prized wicket at this stage of the game. So we're approaching the halfway mark of the Bangladesh innings, and 4 for 49 is well below what they would have envisioned, Steve.
Yeah, it is, but we know, we've seen enough cricket to know that all it takes is one partnership to turn things around, and if you can get a decent score, you can build that pressure, and we've seen the Scorchers already have a collapse in this tournament.
Full, slower delivery. Hussain is unable to clear the front leg and just decides to deflect that back down to the wicket. So another dot. Rockacholi has shown he is a super economical bowler. Can't expect that he's going to bowl too many loose deliveries, whether short or full tosses, wide. Batters will need to be inventive. This one quicker through the air, sliced backward of point, straight to the fielder. Another dot, and you'd have to think the pressure starts to build on Hussain. Just wonder whether he'll try that reverse sweep. He was able to find the boundary off Rockacholi's second over. Over, deep backwards, fine. It's Fuller, straight into leg, worked into the mid-wicket gap just for a single. So Hussain's able to at least rotate the strike and bring Hassan Shahan back onto strike, who's started positively. A couple of guides down to deep third. We've seen a reverse sweep. Not afraid to show the full repertoire. This time, Rockacholi is straight again. The ball's mistimed to mid-wicket. They're able to chop through for a single. So just the 5 runs of Rockacholi's third over. At the halfway mark, the score is 4 for 51.
He's bowling very well, Rockacholi here. Reigning Laurie Sol medalist, of course, which is the highest individual honour in WA cricket. Coming off a great season last year. The other thing I'm impressed with is the boundary riders of the Scorchers. They're very switched on here, and it's probably a credit to Sam Fanning as captain as well. They're not on the boundary. They are just in, probably 10, 15 metres off in some cases, to make sure that they do cut off those 2s. And Bangladesh have certainly made a focus in the last few overs of trying to actually manipulate the fields, and they've cut those 2s off and made them 1s.
So it'll be the leg spin of spores to continue to Hassan Shahan, Bangladesh captain. Full. Hassan's able to get that on the full. Works it onto the leg side for a single. But as you said, again, Steve, the deep fielders quick off the rope and able to deny any chance at coming back for a second. Spores continues. This one is swept. Unable to make contact. Half an appeal from Joel Curtis, the keeper, as he whipped the bails off. The same was able to keep that left look planted. So another dot. The dots have started to accumulate on Hussain here. He was going at a runner ball, but just as we're approaching these middle overs of spin, he's found it harder to keep that going This time a firmer shot as he's back in his crease. Hits it out to long on for a single.
Yeah, I think Sam and his Scorchers are pretty happy with that at the moment. They're happy just to give him the single. And then obviously a few dots in recent times as well, so that run rate has come right down.
Steve, interested to hear your thoughts on the power surge and when might be an appropriate time to take it, as we see Spores into the wicket. He liked that one, might have been a slider going on with the arm, but Shahan was good enough to work that off his pads for a single. Thoughts on the power surge?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a couple of factors for them. One's going to be, they'll probably have a couple of bowlers in mind they'd like to target, but then also they probably want to do it fairly soon with these two guys at the crease. With Hussain being established, they probably do want to pull the trigger fairly soon while they've got some of their better batsmen out there.
Balls to Hussain. This time's quicker again into leg stump. Inside edge to leg side. Joel Curtis, the keeper, gets across quickly and prevents a single. My personal belief, Steve, is that you can use the power surge to change the momentum of a game. So when you're behind the game, try and take it as early as possible to try and get yourself back into some ascendancy. Swept into the deep leg side. They'll think about a second. A misfield prevents any risk of a run out.
Yeah, I agree. I think it probably would nearly be the next over depending on who's bowling. Rochichelli has he bowled his 4?
He's got one remaining.
One to go, so they may want to do it now, but he's bowling very well, so it is a bit of a risk to take it now. Or they may even save him. What are they doing?
Have a look. It looks like
they've
it
got
might
pace.
be Albert Esterhuisen to continue.
Yeah, I'd be pulling the trigger now, I reckon. But
the Bangladesh batting pair converge in the middle. I'm sure they'll be discussing it. Bangladesh, having played in the top end series last year, will certainly be familiar with the power surge, which is a big bash initiative. Some of our other international teams, such as Nepal and Chicago, it might be a little bit more foreign to them, but no doubt Hussain and Shahan will know that they have that up their sleeve should they elect to bring some fielders into the ring. But for now, we have 4 fielders out. Big swing outside off stump. Hashan unable to make contact, but a sign of aggression.
yeah, having the skipper out there, Shahan, is pretty handy, obviously, with the power play at the back of the mind. I would be thinking that it's going to be fairly soon. It may even be after this over.
Yep, just might be trying to increase the run rate leading into the power surge. That shot has led about a change in the field. Deep mid-wicket will drop back. That sign of aggression. So the 5 allotted fielders now out. This time's slower paced ball. Just edged onto the onside for a single. Esterhousen's shown some good skills. We've seen him with pace and bounce back of a length, but also slower balls and variations.
Yeah, he has. As we said earlier, he's got a lot of potential, I think. In terms of the power play, Shahan's now faced 10 deliveries, so he'd probably be getting to the stage now where he's feeling a bit more comfortable. And obviously Hussain's been out there for a while. He's shown that he has got the shots.
So mid-off and mid-on inside the ring, but with the pace of Esterhuisen, that may be a difficult area of the ground to access. This time's back of a length, a little bit of width, unable to beat the backward point fielder. I think this pressure on Hussain is starting to build. It's almost at a point where you've got to die wondering.
Yeah, what are we up to? 11.2 overs gone. They really do need to start taking a few more risks.
This one is into the wicket, help down to deep third. There is a fielder there, so hung in the air, coming off the fence and collecting on the one bounce. Hussein's elected to use that shot a couple of times now today, but with the deep third in, there is an element of risk. Probably trying to get it a little bit finer over the keeper to get that away for 2 or even a boundary.
Yeah, we spoke about projected scores earlier, and we were talking 140 early days, and obviously they've lost some wickets, so it's going to be difficult to get up there now.
That one might be a wide as Esterhuizen really dug the back in and tried to get that one right up to the grill. So he'll re-bowl that delivery.
They need to score at 10 and over to get up to that 140, which is going to be a bit of a challenge considering they're currently going at 5.22.
So yes, well behind the desired rate, Bangladesh, but 2 established batters at the crease looking to change that. Off pace again. Esterhuizen onto the leg side. They think about a second and they will. That was well judged onto the leg side. When you're able to get that pace that just beats the inner ring, you can often get back for a single, and that was good communication between the Bangladesh pair.
Yeah, beautiful soft hands there and great running. Exactly what we're talking about earlier, just trying to manipulate the field and get those twos. The boundary guys are a long way out if you do use soft hands. If you go hard at the ball, you've got no chance. But that was clever batting.
This is Fuller outside off, just dabbed down to deep third for a single. Shahan has looked positive in his time at the crease so far. One ball remaining in Esterhuizen's third over. The young, tall, promising quick has the figures of 1 for 16. Close out this 12th over. Full outside off, well timed, slicing away to backward point, but again, directly at the fielder. Tegan Wiley makes no mistakes as he rings his hand. There was a bit of pace on that one, but unable to find the gap.
He didn't have a choice. It went straight at him. Couldn't get out of the way. Not that he would anyway, but that was very, very well done. A little bit of a stinger. But that's what you got to do sometimes. Put your body on the line.
So at the 12 over mark, we see a couple of drinks run out to the Bangladesh pair. I wonder if that will be accompanied from a message from the dugout that it is time to consider this power surge and trying to get back into this contest.
Yeah, no doubt. As a skipper, he's probably got a little bit of that stuff in his mind, but he's also trying to focus on batting as well. So it's always good to get a little bit extra help from management on the other side of the Toblerone.
So a little conjecture. We'll wait to hear the decision. A reminder, both these sides with 1 win and 1 loss. Perth Scorchers ahead on the points table with a better net run rate, which will be the deciding factors for teams who are even on points as we approach finals next Sunday here in Darwin, Australia. This top-end T20 series brought to you by a number of outstanding partners, including Tourism NT, the Northern Territory Government, Northern Territory Major Events, Bet365, our Airport Development Group, DXC Technology, Thrifty Kookaburra Territory Sports Medicine, and Gatorade. So a warm thank you to our commercial partners. Each team plays 6 matches, Steve, so you certainly don't want to get on the wrong side of the wins and loss ledger. Spores continues. Would have thought that was an easy single, so a little bit of miscommunication as to whose call that was. Shahan guided it right into the gap between cover and backward point, but Hussein now a few times through this innings has elected to turn down the offer from the striker when he's been going to the danger end.
Yeah, certainly don't need to run out at this stage, but they do need to be taking those singles at every opportunity.
Spores again, shorter in length. Heaved onto the leg side, well timed, but it's straight to the deep mid-wicket fielder. So just the single again.
Yeah, I can attest to one of our sponsors, Thrifty Car Rental. Very lucky to have one of those that are in my keeping at the moment. I had a little drive out to Berry Springs for a swim today, thanks to Thrifty.
This one's aggressively hit out into the leg side. Doesn't get all of it, and it will just be another single. Steve, I think the whole Thrifty fleet might be being used in their top end series at the moment. There's plenty getting around on the roads here in Darwin, and even out to Jerry Wood for their country clash today.
Yeah, very, very friendly staff down there at Thrifty, and a beautiful vehicle to drive.
Spores quicker in pace, straight delivery, and unable to get past the keeper Curtis, who is quickly onto that. So again, we're just seeing a lot of dot balls, a lot of singles. The Perth Scorchers will be thrilled with how this is going. Again, leg side, this one just sliding down. Umpire John Germain signals at wide. So just trying to get tight to that leg side, encouraging Shahan to hit to the long boundary with a deep backward square, deep mid-wicket and deep long on in play. This one hits the pad and given. So we saw the ball before slide on with the arm. This time Spores was able to get the ball slightly straighter. Shahan trying to work the ball into the onside, was unable to make contact. John Ganane had no hesitation in raising the finger. Disappointing for Bangladesh. They were spent time at the crease there, Shahan, 15 deliveries, but unable to make a meaningful impact on the scorecard.
Yeah, and it probably does actually show that they probably should have taken the power play already, because now they've got a new batsman coming out, and he's going to be expected to score 8 and over plus to get them to a competitive score, which is always challenging.
Tend to agree with you. Missed opportunity potentially there for Bangladesh to try and put some pressure back onto the Perth Scorchers as we take a look at the replay. Pressing forward. Definitely wasn't going over the stumps from that side-on replay. And not too much in the way of disagreement from Shohan. I think he understands he was caught in front. So they've lost 5 wickets now, Bangladesh. The score only at 66, but probably more importantly, we're closing out the 13th over.
Yeah, even though he's a long way down there, I think it was very much adjacent. A fairly easy decision there for the umpire. It's been a lot of LBW decisions over the last few days on this wicket. Generally because of good spin bowling, nothing to do with the deck. It's just been very good spin bowling, bowling stump to stump, lots of variety with pace and also movement.
So it brings Tawfiq Ahmed to the crease, more known for his bowling exploits, but he's got an opportunity to find some lower order runs here with the 7 overs remaining. They have brought the field right up for him, so we've got a slip in play. Mid-off is up inside the ring. Spores, back of a length. One of these traditional or modern T20 spinners, Spores. Not so much the leg break away from the right-hander, but sliding on with the arm in the, I guess, the ilk of a Adam Zampa or Rashid Khan.
Yeah, there's certainly some bowlers going around world cricket that don't seem to spin the ball a lot. There's just a lot of little intricacies that they do. They vary up their pace. They get a lot of drift, a bit of flight. They're just very, very smart with what they do, and they play to their strengths. They're certainly going for the throat with their field there too. They were very attacking to the new batter.
Yeah, well, it's almost at a point where the Perth Scorchers might elect to have their fielders inside the ring. We've got the 3 outs at the moment. Might just see a deep point dropping to become the 4th fielder out. It's going to be Roccaccioli to bowl his 4th and final over of the innings. Tidy figures again with the 1 for 12. We've got 2 fielders tight at backward point. cover also inside the ring. This is hit hard out to the cover boundary. Will come around to his left-hand side. Come back for 2. So Hussain has built his innings. He's faced the 30 deliveries on his way to 26. Decision time for him. Does he continue to play the anchor role, or does he start to free the arms and put the boundaries into consideration? There's a reverse sweep. Loses his footing, still able to make contact, which is lucky as that ball was zoning into the stumps. He's unable to beat the 2 tight fielders behind point. Charlie's around the wicket, full into leg stump. Helped on its way to backward square. That will just be another single. Tofel Ahmed back on strike, looking to open his account for tonight.
Still a relatively defensive field to the new batter for Rotticelli. Currently with the figures of 1 for 15 with 3 balls left in his spell.
Flighted. Cover gets around. They think about a single. No run. So Corey Rocchiccioli bowled 4 overs yesterday, 1 for 14. He's just slightly worse today with the figures of 1 for 15, but just super economical T20 bowling. Rocchiccioli to Ahmed. He's pressing forward to the short cover fielder, and it's another dot off the bowling of Rocchiccioli.
It's interesting they got the 5 out here. I would have thought they'd be a bit more attacking here to the new batter. They could have brought a slip in, I would have thought.
Rocchiccioli to close out his spell. A little bit wider, deep in his crease. Again, unable to get off the mark, Ahmed. He's now faced 4 deliveries. And that concludes a tidy set for Rocchiccioli. 1 for 15. Excellent T20 bowling, showing all of his skill and class.
Yeah, beautiful bowling there. Didn't get a maiden, but just consistently bringing the dots together. Very difficult to get away. No looseners, no wide balls. Bowled his flight. And yeah, as I say, he's just got lots of things in his kit bag.
Looks like it will be the leg spinner Spores to continue from the airport end. Hussain, the left-hander on strike, will have 5 fielders out. He must be starting to target the short leg side boundary. We've got a backward square mid-wicket and long on. Flighted delivery hit hard to that deep long on, but all he can get in return is a single. He's timed the ball well, Hussain. Largely elected to keep the ball along the ground, but the situation of the match probably requires more.
Yeah, I think so, and he possibly doesn't have the power game to really be going aerial too often. I think his go is probably to hit the ball hard along the ground, as you said, into the gaps and maybe try and get some boundaries that way.
Spores tight and tidy again. Full into leg stump. Ahmad's just found the fielders a few times now, hitting cover, hitting mid-wicket. Important early in your innings to just find that gap at square leg or point. Get off the mark. This time he sways that away to the leg side. It's backward square and he does get off the mark. Hussain back onto strike. But Perth Scorchers are able to go about their business at the moment with little to no pressure.
Yeah, they're desperately keen for a boundary here. They need to do something different.
Shorter, hit hard back to Spores, but straight at him. He's able to collect that cleanly. He's got 2 balls remaining in his spell. Again, super economical. The spin duo have really controlled these middle overs. Haven't given anything loose. This one's just worked onto the leg side for another single. It's been an impressive display of control from the spin bowlers.
Yeah, it's been really good. as I say, they've just been bowling consistent areas. They've set the field that suits the bowling, and there's just really been very few opportunities to get boundaries.
Last ball for Spores. Again, it's tight, skidding on with the arm. Ahmed's unable to find any timing, and, well, 1 off 7 to open his time at the crease. We'll need to get a move on with only 5 overs remaining.
Yeah, so we were talking 140 at the start. If they were able to somehow get 10 and over from here, they could possibly get a competitive score. But again, that's probably not realistic looking at the Manhattan there. Just too many overs around that 4 and below. Only really one big over of 9 in the 4th over. And then in the 12th, they managed to get 7.
We'll stay, Steve. This game has a lot of comparisons to the Perth Scorchers game yesterday. Pakistan Shaheens elected to take their power surge late, and they were able to rally with some late boundaries to post 111, which didn't look a lot at the time, but as I said earlier today, it took Perth Scorchers 8 wickets down to eventually claim the winning runs. So can the Bangladesh team find their way to 120 with these 5 overs remaining? Into the hip, sort of half pulled off the top edge to the square leg umpire. There's no fielder in the ring, so they're able to make an easy single, but singles are not quite enough at the moment. Let's see if Ahmed is more comfortable with the pace of Esterhuizen, just unable to manoeuvre against the spin of Rockacholi and Spores. So a bit of pace to work with now might enable him to either get the ball over point if he can free his arms. There's a boundary option there. The pace of Esterhuizen is making it difficult to hit the ball back down the ground, as we see deep long on go back, deep mid off the other fielder inside the ring. It's skied high above the light tower. Mid off's going back. He's not sure. Long on's coming around on the double grab. And well held. That was in the air for an eternity. Ahmed took the decision to take it on down the ground. A back of a length ball. We got plenty of bat on it, but just not enough to either clear the mid-off fielder as long on came around and judged it well under the night sky.
It was a good catch in the end. He made a little bit of difficulty there with it, a little bit of a juggle. But it is quite challenging with these lights. I know in the international games they talked about the lights being a little bit lower than the main grounds around Australia, with the MCG and the SCG all being much higher. So there has been a few having a little bit of trouble with the high catches, but it was very well taken.
Ahmed cleared the front leg to hoik that over back the bowler's head. Looked like it was going to be mid-off's catch for a long time until mid-on was finally called into, and was able to take the catch on the second opportunity. So Bangladesh now 6 down. Albert Esterhuizen taking his second wicket. I've been super impressed with his display, a mix of pace into the wicket with the odd variation. He's into his 4th and final over.
Well, he had to go, Ahmed, didn't he? He was chewing up dots. He was 1 off 8, so he had to have a bit of a go. He did end up hitting it pretty cleanly, but unfortunately, he just went a little bit too high.
So with it on Joy Chowdhury, left-hander comes to the crease. Nothing to lose. This one's full, driven through the offside. Nice start for Chowdhury. He'll come back for 2 to open his account.
So he's been elevated in the order here.
Originally listed at 10, so he's been given a promotion.
Bit of a license to hit, I think.
I think so. Nothing to lose. As we've said, they're well below a defendable total at the moment, Bangladesh. So may as well hit out and get out and try and get to 110. Something that their bowlers can try and defend. Esterhuizen's short again to the leg side. Might have been a little bit of glove as wicketkeeper Curtis scurries around, takes off the glove to throw that back in. It all rests with Hussain now. The last designated batter at the crease. He spent plenty of time in the middle, facing 37 balls. Currently below a run a ball. It's full into leg. Just works that to the mid-wicket area for a single. Again, the whole innings from Hussain's been quite circumspect. Haven't seen too many signs of aggression. Running out of time to post a total for his bowlers.
Yeah, I think the Scorchers have identified that he likes to free the arms, and that's probably his best go-to in terms of the boundary shots. And they just haven't really given him any width. They've just bowled nice and tight into his body.
So wider outside off stump. Maybe an off-cutter from Esterhuizen as he closes out his 4 innings, so 4 overs. Really great display, claiming 2 for 21. At the end of the 16th over, the score is 6 for 77.
So where are they going to score their runs? They're going to need to try and get 10 and over, really. I know they haven't been doing it up till now, but if they can try and get a boundary per over and score off every other ball, it's going to get them up close to that 8 to 10 per over. There can't be any dots. It's got to be either block and run, work to a gap in the field to get the 2, or wait for your boundary ball. They're going to have to be smart here. They've got to be tactical. They've got to play to their strengths and get ourselves a score up around that, maybe 110, if they can get those 4 relatively big overs.
Well, the glimmer of hope is the power surge has been taken, so there's an opportunity to capitalise in the next 12 deliveries, with 2 fielders permitted outside the inner circle. We have a deep backward square and a deep mid-wicket for Hussain. He's faced 38 deliveries. He needs to take the ascendancy in this next 2 overs as he faces Brodie Couch from the airport end. Here we go. First delivery of the power surge. Around the wicket, a little bit of room, backward of point. They come through for a single as that was diving saved, prevented 2 or more runs.
Thank you. So they've got their cover here on the leg side. So they're going to probably bowl at the body, no width. If they do happen to stray a little bit wide of the off stump, then that's where the boundary is going to be a real option for him.
Chowdhury on strike. Full outside off, driven firmly to mid-off. Who just waits for the ball to reach him in the inner ring. They're happy with singles at the moment, the Perth Scorchers. Captain Sam Fanning's done an excellent job rotating the quicks. Spin controlled the middle overs. They'll be looking to close out. Mentioned earlier that power surge got away from them yesterday in their match against the Pakistan Shaheens. So they'll be looking to improve that aspect of their bowling performance today. Hussain on strike. Full again, inside edge. A lucky break for Bangladesh that makes its way down to the fine leg boundary for 4. Joel Curtis, the wicketkeeper, unable to do anything about that as he was beaten on his inside. A welcome 4 runs for Bangladesh.
Yeah, you can't set a field to that. Bit unlucky for the bowler, but that's T20 cricket. It's interesting they have made the change with a deep point, but now he's just coming in. I would be keeping the deep point because I think that's what he wants to do. He wants to free the arms and have a crack. So there is an opportunity out there, even if he backs away and gives himself a little bit of room, expecting the ball to be at the body. Yeah. He's going to have to maybe move around the crease a little bit just to try something different.
Brings the short boundary into play. Hussain decides to take it on. It's into the wicket. hit hard to cover. Again, unable just to find that gap. Straight to the fielder for another single. So we've got 2 balls remaining in the first of the power surge. Looks like the field will remain with 2 fielders out on the leg side. You think Crouch is looking to bowl tight line here with the 2 out on the leg side, or?
Yeah, he's either going. Yeah, I think he's just going to bowl length at the body and just give him no room. So he's got the protection on the leg side, which is another reason to back away and get a bit funky.
Crouch returns. It's into the crease. Helped on its way, backward to square. The fielder's got some work to do. He slides. Does well to prevent 4. Just scraped that in. Tidy little bit of work on the boundary there by Tegan Wiley. He's fielded well today. So 2 runs to Chowdhury. Moves him back on strike for the final ball of this, the 17th over. The score's on 86, still well short of a defendable total. High in the air, lofted to the leg side. Mid-on's coming around. Safe as the 2 fielders converged on the leg side. So Chowdhury hasn't been able to get back for a couple of doubles. He's made his way to 8 off 6, providing a little lower order cameo. Hussain will have strike for the first ball of the second over as the Bangladesh substitutes have just been told you've been on the pitch a little bit too often. Told to get back off as they run out some gloves and a drink. Important part of the T20 game is keeping the game moving, and I think it's often the batting side that's holding up display as much as it is the bowling side.
Yeah, and the bowling side's the one that gets penalised too, so it's always a bit tough. But that was a big over there, 11 off, innings high. It's what they needed. They got the boundary, they got a few 2s and a 1, and as I said earlier, there wasn't any dots, so they were able to score off each ball, which is what it's all about. It's not always about trying to find your boundary balls, trying to minimise the dots.
So it would be Bryce Jackson to bowl this second power surge. He's elected to go with a deep point and deep backward square. How will Hussain respond? Full, outside off, driven straight to cover again. Just too many dots in Hussain's innings. Yes, you can be a traditionalist who looks to keep the ball along the ground, but if you're going to play that role, you've got to find the gap.
Yeah, some guys are blessed with power, so they can probably get away with it, but unfortunately it's not his go, so he's going to have to try and introduce a few more shots in his repertoire, maybe move around the crease a little bit.
Yeah, you'd have to think the ramp over the keeper's head is in the back of his mind. Jackson. It is full. Looks to force through the offside again with a traditional cover drive. So just hasn't been able to find the power that's been required to beat the fielders in front of the wicket. Another single there. So only 4 balls remaining in this power surge that was so crucial for the Bangladesh side to capitalise on. Looks like they're going to change the field for Chowdhury. The deep point will come up, so we'll have 2 fielders on the leg side. It's a long boundary out to that leg side. I have seen it cleared plenty of times through this top-end series. Jackson's into the wicket, and that's what we wanted. Chowdhury gets inside it, helps it all the way for 6. Great shot there. Chowdhury's come to the crease. We saw he got the promotion, and we're starting to see why. Yeah,
absolutely. Named at 10. He's come in much earlier, and he's shown that he's got a little bit of power there. It was the first one that's even looked like going over the boundary there. So very risky, and it's just flown down there to deep fine leg for 6.
Just helped on its way. Got inside the line, right out of the middle, sailed into the fence. Well played. Mithran join Chowdhury, the first 6 of the innings for the Bangladesh. How will Jackson respond? This one's wider. Deep point was dropped. It's judged a wide. Jackson's not sure. He thought he executed inside the tram line. Umpire Simon Burns decided otherwise. So it will still be 3 balls remaining.
It's the first time, Carl, that there's actually been some pressure on the bowler, isn't it? A little bit of movement around the crease there, the big 6, and all of a sudden now the bowler's second-guessing themselves, and it brings about the wide.
So important to give the bowler something to think about. Chowdhury again, skied this one. A fielder's coming around and well held. So look to take on the leg side boundary again. This one was a little bit wider. All he could do was find the top edge, and well held. The Perth Scorchers have supported their bowlers, taking all their chances in the field. Never easy under the dark lights. The night sky here. And Chowdhury, after finding the first 6 of the innings, departs, having made 14 off 8 runs.
It's come alive though, the innings, which is what we've been waiting for. All of a sudden now they're getting pretty close to 100, and the scores we were throwing around earlier of at least 110, maybe even a 120 are starting to be some sort of a chance, and then you've got something to bowl at. So we're starting to get back to the stage now where the Scorchers are thinking, oh, maybe we might have a bit of a chase here.
As Mithroy Chowdhury departs back into the shed, we welcome Hassan to the crease. He'll be on strike with 2 balls remaining in the power surge. Steve, you may as well just swing at these next 2 and hope for the best.
May as well. Team first at this stage. Not worrying about protecting averages. Just want to get something on it and then scamper down the other end if you can't.
So, Naeem Hassan coming in at number 9 this evening. Can he find bat on ball and, more importantly, try and find the rope? Jackson resumes. It's back of a length and out. 2 and 2 for Jackson. Pace and bounce. Hazeen was beaten on the outside edge. That's a rude start to his innings, only lasting the 1 delivery. Bryce Jackson showing that he can still get the ball through the wicket in this late stage of the innings.
Yeah, came through a bit quicker, that one. Bit of bounce, just caught the glove, I believe, or was it the bat? Let's have a look.
Oh, really lifted off a length. Didn't do much wrong there. Uncomfortable delivery to get first up.
Yeah, not ideal. You want to get that ball a little bit fuller in the slot and to get up the other end, but you really can't do much about that. You know you've got to try and score, but it really is very difficult to score off a delivery like that takes off at that length.
It's a reoccurring trend of seeing wickets in the power surge. Often they can be the best overs to bowl, and that's been proven for Bryce Jackson here. He's claimed 2 in 2 deliveries, and now has the opportunity to take the first hat-trick of this top-end series. We've seen plenty of players take 2 in 2. Can he be the first to claim that coveted hat-trick? We've even seen a slip in come into play for this, the last of the 18th. Hold on. A bit of conjecture as to how the field's going to be set up behind the wicket, but if he can get the ball through like that last delivery, Rukabal Hassan is going to have his work cut out to keep it out. Here we go. Jackson on a hat-trick. Full. He's gone for it. Third comes around, but there's enough bat to clear the ring field. They come back. A bit of pressure to get through. So an entertaining hat-trick ball, and final over for Bryce Jackson. His third over, sorry. Now with the figures of 3 for 26.
Yeah, good bowling there from Jackson, and certainly for a split second it looked like we were going to have a hat-trick on our hands there. It was in the air for a while, but it was just a little bit too long.
Rukabal Hassan was not worried about, being that third wicket to fall in 3 deliveries. as he tried to loft the ball back of a length over the offside. It hung in the air. Tegan Wiley tried his best to backtrack, but the ball was just outstretched of his reach.
That's what you want, though, is you don't want someone coming in to try and prevent a hat trick. You want someone to come and have a go, which is what he did, so credit to him. Entertaining for us and also trying to score some runs for his team, which is what it's all about.
Yes, Rakbal Hassan, the all-rounder, he'll have a job to do with the ball in the second innings. Can he provide some late order hitting to just give somewhat of a target? Currently 99, 12 balls remaining. Crouch to continue from the airport end. It's into the wicket. What's that come off? Hassan tried to pull to the leg side, didn't know much about it. Wait for the decision from John Ganane. The judge that there was no bat, so a leg bye to start the penultimate over. Brodie Crouch has been impressive. Hussain back on strike. He's made his way to 40. Just waiting for confirmation as we await the field placements. Looks like we'll see mid-wicket coming up into the ring, which is an interesting decision. As immediately as I say, that's funny how often that happens, Steve. The captain sends him right back.
I think they might have heard you, Carl. They thought, hang on, this doesn't seem right. Carl doesn't agree.
Hussain on strike. Couch into the wicket, finding pace and bounce again. This pace battery of the Perth Scorchers. We've mentioned some of the names they've produced at international level, and it looks like they've got another emerging trio of pace bowlers. We've got Brodie Couch on display here. Young Albert Esterhuizen was able to beat the bat, and in the over before, Bryce Jackson claiming multiple wickets. They've got a promising attack that, Steve, you'd have to think can go far into this top-end series. Couch is full this time, outside off, and it beats the wicketkeeper, Joel Curtis. Just got low on him as he looked to get his body behind the ball, but was unable to prevent it going through to the fine leg region for 2 byes, the first byes of the innings.
Yeah, he's done a good job with the gloves. That was just a bit of an awkward one, just that awkward length. He tried to get the body behind, but certainly can't blame the surface here. The surface here is unbelievably good at TIO.
Couch, 3 balls remaining. Hussain on strike, full outside off. Oh, went for the French cut again. Hussain's already had one of those this innings. Beaten on the inside as that one just skittled through a little bit lower. Couch has got a fast skiddy action. Was able to beat the bat on that occasion. Another tidy over. Nothing off the bat with 4 balls gone.
So 8 to come. 115 would be probably a bare minimum for them. It's doable now.
Full outside off and another dot. Hussain had width to use. Deep third was up in the ring, so any bat on that would have been able to race away to third man for 4. But Hussain just unable to get bat on ball. He must be feeling a lot of pressure as the innings has just slowly gotten away. He started promisingly. It was a run a ball up to 20, but he's just lost his way a little bit in these latter stages. Couch to conclude the 19th. Into the wicket, pulled into the leg side, along the grounds. Hussain just jots through for a single. He'll retain the strike to open up the last over. And he's got to bring something to the table to try and find the boundary.
Yeah, a couple overs ago, they got the 11 off the over, so they are capable. It's going to have to be 12 at least, I reckon, to make it a competitive score. And they can walk off with their chest out. Hopefully maybe pick up Teague Wiley early and bring the game back into a 50-50 contest.
So a modest worm, to say the least. We see those 2 wickets in the last Bryce Jackson over. Just that little spike was the 6 from Chowdhury, but really through the whole innings, they have struggled to put the Perth Scorchers bowlers under any pressure. A crucial game for these two teams, both on 1 win and 1 loss. Jackson to conclude. It's into the wicket, helped onto the leg side, upish, but straight to the fielder as they come in hard off the fence to prevent any chance of a second. The limelight goes over to Raqibal Hassan to see if he can try and find the fence.
Swings his arms around, he's ready to go.
So, fine leg, third man inside the ring, as well as mid-off. Potential boundary options around the crease. Slow ball, it's high into mid-wicket. The fielder's going around, he won't get it. It's 6 more. So Raqibal Hassan sees the umpire raise his arms for the second 6 of the innings. And the lower order has been able to provide some fireworks for Bangladesh.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to, gave us a bit of a heads up that he was going to have a go there. He was looking like he was shaping up for a boxing fight, and then he's just gone absolutely bang.
That's a great shot. There was a bit of width, so he's done really well to get enough bat onto the leg side and heave that over to mid-wicket. Had enough bat on it to clear the fence by a good 5 metres. So Raqibal Hassan 6. Jackson to respond. Full, outside off. It's going to be another boundary. It's 6 more. So putting Jackson under a little bit of pressure. Strayed in his line and length. Full outside off. Hassan threw the kitchen sink at it. Was able to get enough bat on it to go back-to-back 6s. Are we seeing something from the Bangladesh late in this innings?
And there's more good news from a Bangladesh point of view, because we've got a free hit here because it's been deemed a no ball. So we are having a cracker of a last over here for Bangladesh.
Late in this innings, Raqibal Hassan has brought the game to life. We've mentioned that Perth Scorchers had their troubles chasing 112 yesterday. Bangladesh are now over that total. It's a free hit. It's up in the air. Raqibal should be able to get back for 2. Square legs coming around. It's going to be tight. Oh. It's out. Had to take it on after back-for-back 6s. Tried to paddle that over fine leg. It held in the air. Looked like he may have been able to get back, but a strong throw straight into the gloves of wicketkeeper Joel Curtis, who was able to wick off the bails. John Ganane adjudged that Hassan was short of his ground. So a short little cameo of 16 off 5 comes to an end. But well played, Hassan. He's given his side something to defend.
Yeah, just what this game needed. That was very, very good to watch, even though it was a very, very brief innings. Certainly entertained the crowd. A couple of very big hits. It's a shame he couldn't just make his ground there. I was hoping the umpire was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it looked like he was clearly out. So it was a correct decision there. And he gets a nice rousing reception as he comes off.
Applause from the Bangladesh spectators and dugout. They appreciate how crucial those back-to-back 6s could be. Little moments can play a big part in changing the momentum of a T20 match. How pivotal will that be as we see the Perth Scorchers run chase? For now, attention goes back to Jackson, who's full. And the first ball of Mahmood is driven through the offside for 4 more. So it's been a great end to this Bangladesh innings. The final over going for plenty still with balls remaining.
And for the first time, they look rattled, the Scorchers. They've been well in control for the entire game. Hasn't really been a lot of pressure back on the bowler, and now all of a sudden, this game has come to life. Score up to 122 with a couple more balls to go.
So 19 off the over, by far the most productive for Bangladesh. This one is a dot, bowled into the wicket by Jackson. Mahmood swung hard to the leg side, was unable to make contact. So we've got one ball remaining in the Bangladesh innings. So they've done well to get to 122. It's certainly at points we didn't expect them to get there. We've seen a few lower totals across the last day or two. They've given their bowlers something to believe in. Jackson to conclude. Outside off stump. Joel Curtis has a shy. They get scamper through for a bye. So that finishes 20 off the final over. Exactly what Bangladesh needed. Jackson finishes with the figures of 3 for 45, which took a little bit of damage in that last over. We mentioned how well he did in the power surge, claiming 2 wickets, but bowling at the death. Is always a difficult thing to do. So as we see Bangladesh batters depart, the Scorchers will be happy at restricting them for 123, but there'll still be plenty of work to do as we look back at the key moments of this first innings. Perth Scorchers again able to take wickets through the power play before controlling the middle overs through the spin of Corey Rockachalli and Matthew Spores. Bangladesh were consistently under pressure. Hussain was able to bat through the innings while without being able to find the boundary with any regular ease. He was able to play an anchoring role and score 40 before Rakibal Hassan hit back-to-back sixes in the final over to give the Bangladesh team 123 on the board. We will be back after a short break for the Perth Scorchers run chase.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory.
Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Cricket taught us to chase boundaries. Out here, you'll find new ones. From hot springs to hotter curries, the Northern Territory surprises at every turn. Adventure, culture, food, it's all here and it's all real. Not your usual holiday, not your usual Australia. New boundaries, new territory. Australia's Northern Territory.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium for this crucial encounter between the Perth Scorchers and Bangladesh. Bangladesh won the toss, elected to bat. They have 123 runs on the board. Both of these sides with 1 win and 1 loss to start their campaigns. So a win will be crucial. Alongside me is Steve Nichols, waiting for the umpires to return onto the ground. For Perth look to chase this total of 124. Similar circumstances to their win over Pakistan yesterday. In that match, they chased a 111-8 down, largely off contributions from Nick Hobson and Joel Curtis. At the top of the order, Baxter Holt will be joined by Jaden Goodwin, who's come into the side for this match.
Yeah, certainly we're fortunate with that last little burst of excitement. Has certainly brought this game to life for us. And now we've got a target which is going to be a bit more challenging for the Scorchers. As you said, Carl, we've got some very similarities between previous games, and we know that the pressure does come when you're chasing, particularly if you lose those early wickets. And there's some key wickets in here. I mentioned earlier about Teague Wiley, who's already got a few runs this tournament, including 1 big score. I think it was in the 70s at probably close to 140 strike rate. So yeah, he's very capable of going quickly.
Teague Wiley, one of the most promising prospects in Australian cricket. Did really well in the under-19 level, so he'll be looking to make an impact in this power play. While for Bangladesh, they are without their strike bowler Rupon Mondal for tonight's evening, so they will be looking to share the load. Raqabal Hassan, who provided some late order fireworks with back-to-back sixes. Will do a crucial job with the ball and his spin. So moments away from this second innings. Top End T20 series sponsored by NT Tourism. It's another glorious night here in the Darwin dry season. You couldn't ask for better conditions.
Yeah, perfect for cricket. Both batting and bowling. I mean, it's always better at this time of night as well. A little bit cooler. But there's definitely something in it for the bowlers as well this time of night. Had been a magnificent wicket to bat on as well. So looking forward to a magnificent second innings here, which could come down to the wire now.
Be interesting to see if the dew plays a part. We have seen that throughout the series. The conditions here in Darwin will leave a little bit of moisture on the outfield, which will soften the ball and potentially make it a little bit more challenging for the spinners. So that might be the reason that the Bangladesh side have elected to start with spin, and it will be Naeem Hassan to open the bowling. Holt on strike, works into mid-wicket for 1. So as a throw hits the stumps, deflects back. They could have elected to take another run, but have decided against it. They have just brushed the batter's pads. So Holt is off the mark, while Jaden Goodwin has come into the side for the Scorchers. Be looking to build his innings.
Yeah, exciting opportunity here for Jaden. Under lights at TIO Stadium.
His first match of the series. And he's straight down the wicket. How about that? Hitting hard over mid-on. 6. First ball. Welcome to the crease. Jaden Goodwin. He's not going to muck around.
no nerves from Jaden. Amazing start. He's just danced down the wicket there, and he's timed it beautifully as well, comfortably over the boundary rope.
That's what we'd love to see, putting the bowler under pressure early. How will Hassan respond? False start. He's got deep backward square and deep mid-off. Ooh, thought I may have heard a little edge. Certainly well bowled from Hassan.
Yeah, he's just thrown that one up a little bit there. Beautifully flighted.
Good response to the 6 first ball. This one's edge to slip, and did it carry? I think that might have just landed on the shoe on the full. We'll see if we can capture a replay there. Well bowled, Naeem Hassan. It looks to be a little bit of purchase in the wicket. Promising signs for him. This one's a little bit straighter and just work to leg side. Might be able to come back for a couple here. So Goodwin adds 2 to his tally.
Yeah, there's a little bit to work with outside the off stump of the left-hander. Obviously, with most bowlers bowling right arm over the wicket, that's where the footmarks are going to be.
This one is flatter and faster. And Goodwin's able to work that into the cover gap, and he'll help himself to another 2. So a promising start from the Perth Scorchers. They've made 11 off the first over in reply to Bangladesh's 123.
Yeah, outside of the big 6, it was a pretty good over from Hassan there, and you could be excused for maybe throwing it up your first ball, or not really expecting that, this first ball to the young fella. So it was a very good over, and there's certainly a little bit of movement there, which is always encouraging for a spin bowler.
So Jaden Goodwin, a talented left-hand batter from West Australia, and is actually the son of former Zimbabwean player Murray Goodwin, who'd be well known to many. So it'll be Baxter Holt to face the first over from the airport end, bowled from Mahmood. And he's bowled him! What a delivery! That looked to do all sorts. Far too good for Baxter Holt. Exactly the start that Bangladesh needed.
Beautiful little off-cutter there. There's a lot of purchase. It's come back very hard. And a lot of disappointment there for Holt. Again, you probably weren't expecting it to move that much straight up. And he's on his way.
Forward to seeing the replay there. Hassan, wicket first ball. Holt done for pace. Just jagged back in between bat and pad, playing from the crease. That ball was too good, and the perfect start in the second over to Mahmood.
Yeah, beautiful use of the fingers there, dragging back on the seam, allowing that off-cutter to come right back and knock the bails off.
So we see a slip come into play. It's going to be Tegan Wiley batting at 3.
Huge wicket.
Slip in play. Deep square leg, deep third. Are the 2 fielders out? Mahmood, full of energy, approaches the crease. Appeal from the crowd. I think there was a little bit of bat in that as the ball just slid onto leg stump while he's off the mark. But it's been a promising start from Mahmood.
Yeah, he's got a bit going for him. Charges in. Great use of the seam. And if they can pick up Wiley early, it's going to make a massive difference. Goodwin's obviously made a good start here. Just working it down to the leg side there.
Did take a step down the wicket, and yeah, lucky to just get a little bit of an inside edge there. Otherwise, that would have been adjacent. Goodwin, left hand. Defended just too short cover. Bit of a wild throw back to the keeper, but no damage done. Will Goodwin continue his aggressive approach?
Yeah, even at this early stage, you can see the Scorchers have made a point of making sure that they use the crease and move around a little bit more. We were critical potentially of the Bangladesh team for staying at home and not really being too creative, not really giving themselves some room until that last little burst, but they're being very proactive as the batters.
This is full outside off stump. No run. So Hassan Mahmood has represented the Bangladesh national team, despite being a still young, promising prospect. Has the wickets of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli to his name. Back of the length, punched to short cover for no run. Excellent start from Hassan Mahmood.
Certainly a good way to boost the resume, dismissing those couple of names.
If there's two you want, they're probably pretty high on the list.
Yeah, he's ticked those boxes very early.
So with the absence of Ripan Mondal, a lot will rest with Hassan Mahmood tonight, the strike bowler for the Bangladesh, as they look to claim their second win in their third match. Another dot to finish. Super tidy start. One off from Mahmood. The score is now 1 for 12 with 2 overs gone.
Yeah, great over there. Just what they needed after a little bit of an expensive over, even though the first over was quite well bowled. With the big 6, it ended up making it an expensive one. But now they've managed to swing it back 1 for 12 after 2. They'd be pretty happy with that at this stage. Runs on the board. They just need to continue to take wickets. Mentioned Teague Wiley being a key wicket. Coming off some runs. The highlight being his 67 off 50 balls.
Yeah, it was an outstanding catch yesterday to dismiss him. He helped the ball, looked like 4 for all money before short fine leg grasped it with an outstretched hand. Here is Wiley. Chowdhury comes into the attack, the left arm up, and it's full on leg stump. Help to the leg side for 2. Interesting that they decided to take Hassan off. He looks promising after that 6 first ball from Goodwin. So the left armour Chowdhury was a little bit erratic in last night's performance against Nepal. He was entrusted with closing out the innings. This time he's got the new ball. Gone down the leg side, a spirited appeal, particularly from the wicketkeeper Sohan. He really liked it. Umpire Simon Boone's unmoved. They definitely liked it there, Bangladesh. Always hard when bat and thigh pad are close together. Thigh pad has a very similar sound on replay. I'm not giving that out.
Yeah, no, I think he's made the right decision there. As enthusiastic as the Bangladesh boys are, I don't think he's hit that one.
Outside off stump. Is there an edge on that one? Half an appeal. Teague Wiley beaten outside off stump. Chowdhury looking to swing this new ball, as we've seen so many left-arm bowlers do over the years. Short in stature, and able to skid that one through. That was an excellent delivery.
Yeah, as we have a look at the replay now, just outside off stump, probably not quite a drivable length. Very good bowling.
Chowdhury returns, punch back, and he is in the contest, eyeballing Tegan Wiley. We'd love to see that. Despite only having a modest total on the board, Bangladesh have come out full of energy.
Yeah, it's certainly not a practice match out here. This is a fair dinkum tournament. We love to see the competitiveness in the players. Everyone loves to win. We've got a game on here.
The battle continues. That was quick but well played. Tegan Wiley with a little bit of room, stood in his crease and clobbered that through the offside for 4.
Yeah, that was a powerful shot. Really strong in the crease, as you said. Never really looked like being anything other than a boundary. Just confidence. As we have a look at the replay now, nice and still at the crease. Just short of a length, but just not quick enough to be bowling that length and that width, and it's been put away as it should have been.
Oh, Chowdhury beaten Tegan Wiley. Chowdhury's just shown an ability to take the ball away from the right-hander. It's a unique skill set for a left-arm bowler, and a promising start. 6 runs off the over. Score's now 1 for 18. Enough to like from the Bangladesh start. They're creating chances, beating the bat. It's not going to be easy going.
Yeah, I think so, and I like the way that they've mixed the bowling up. I think there's been a bit of a trend in recent times to actually bowl bowlers for shorter spells, bowl them for an over here and over there. If they can actually settle quickly, it's a really good tactic.
This one's heaved onto the leg side. Well timed from Goodwin. He'll help himself to another boundary as the ball trots over the boundary line. Just straying onto the pads there, Mahmood. He had protection at deep square. The ball was a little bit full, and Goodwin was able to find the gap for his second boundary.
Yeah, he looked pretty strong off his legs there. If you're going to bowl that straight, you probably just need to be having some protection there. At the moment, they've obviously only got the 2 out. Got someone at deep square leg and also down at third man.
Mahmood. Around the wicket. This one's straighter. Half an appeal. Looks like that will be a leg bye to bring Wiley back on strike. Some impressive striking, though, from Jaden Goodwin, who's come into the Perth Scorchers side for this match.
Yeah, certainly going at a faster clip than the Bangladesh did. But we do remember they finished very strongly, so they're still in the game.
Deep square leg, a slip and deep third. This one's full again. Straight to mid-on for a single. Ball really cannoning off the bat of Tegan Wiley. You can see why he's so highly regarded and underrated. Just at the age of 18, already with a lot of experience at domestic level.
Yeah, they've both got a bit more power than some of the Bangladesh boys as well, so it's a bit of an advantage they've got.
Mahmood continues. Dot ball hit straight to point. So 100 off 99, a run rate required of 6 and over. Very manageable for the Perth Scorchers if these two can continue for any period of time.
Yeah, this partnership's key. They both look pretty comfortable at the moment. Not a lot of risk needed to be taken.
This one's cut away. Backward point does well to get a hand to it. Ball spills out and they're able to run through for 1. 1 ball remaining in the power play, but I guess the capitalising early is less of an issue when you've got a modest total to chase.
Yeah, that's right. We can see there that they're ahead of the required run rate already, which puts them in a comfortable position. They don't need to take those risks. They don't need to go aerial too often. They can weigh the situation up, wait for the bad ball that comes, and just tick it over with the 1s and 2s as well as the regular boundaries.
Last ball of the 4th over. While he advances, hits over cover. He's got enough on that. Ball checks in the outfield. They'll think about a 3rd, and they'll make it comfortably.
Yeah, probably the fact that it was the last ball of the power play probably meant that he was thinking, yep, if it's up, I'm going. Whereas now the field will change, as will the tactics of the batting team.
We saw Bangladesh lose wickets early in their batting innings, but it's just been noticeable the added element of intent that the Perth Scorchers have come out with in their innings.
Yeah, they've been a lot more positive, haven't they? As I said earlier, they've been a bit more busy. They're moving around the crease. They look like they're able to score on both sides of the wicket, and they are blessed with a little bit more power.
So Hassan coming back into the attack, having bowled the first over from this end. Thought Chowdhury was promising with his ability to take the ball away from the right-hander. They've elected to bring Hassan, the off-spinner, back on. Got the field set deep. Swept away, hard, straight to backward square. Shan Alam returns the ball to the keeper.
Yeah, mixing the bowling up is, as I said earlier, just an interesting tactic. If you can actually hit the line straight away, then it's a great thing, but you also need the bowler to settle.
If you've just joined us, Jaden Goodwin hit his first ball to Hassan for 6, straight over mid-on, before Hassan was able to respond and spin some balls past him. This one's slid on with the arm, looked to be going down leg. We know that the Bangladesh side is spirited, claimed 1 early wicket, and they will be hoping they can add to that tally.
They're very animated, aren't they, with their appeals, which is good. It's good for cricket.
Full tosses hit out to mid-1 for 1. No, I love the vibrancy and the flavour that the international teams have brought to this competition. Not only on field, but off field as well. We saw an outstanding crowd for the Bangladesh-Nepal game at DXC Arena. I had a look at the Cricket Australia YouTube channel this morning, and over 600,000 views of that game from last night. Wiley works that one onto the onside, helps himself to 2 more.
Yeah, T20 cricket has certainly made it more accessible to a lot more countries, hasn't it? It's meant that we can expose the game to new audiences.
And Darwin is the perfect place to do that, being on the Asian corridor, playing this fantastic tournament in Australia's winter. We've seen it grow season on season. Bangladesh made the final last year before being beaten by Adelaide Strikers. And Wiley's again able to help himself to 2. So they've been able to find the boundaries, but also hit the sweepers hard, hit it left or right with enough pace to get back for 2. It just makes such a difference as opposed to the dots and ones that we regularly saw throughout the Bangladesh innings.
Yeah, they've ticked all the boxes, haven't they? They've managed to find the boundary. They've managed to hit a 6. They've got lots of singles, and now they're starting to work the 2s as well. So they're thinking about all different ways of scoring, which shows good cricket IQ.
So as you can see on that bar chart there, Bangladesh were really saved by that last over of the innings, scoring 20 off that, while the Perth Scorchers are ahead of the required rate. Hit hard by Goodwin. Mid-off comes around. He'll be able to collect for just the single. Raqabal Hassan comes into the attack from the airport ends, and he will be crucial if Bangladesh is able to find their way into this match. He's an experienced campaigner, bowled well last night, taking 3 for 18 against Nepal. This one's flighted, gets to fine leg quickly, is unable to prevent the single. Raqabal Hassan, one of the members of this Bangladesh side who's returning to the top end series. Bowling to Goodwin now. Advances and bowled. There he is, into the game. And what a celebration. I hope we can get a camera on just what that meant to Raqabal Hassan. He's beaten and deceived Goodwin, who looked to advance down the wicket before the ball cannoned into his stumps.
Yeah, beautifully bowled there. You can see he's come fairly early here out of his crease, and he's pulled it in nice and a little bit shorter, got the turn and knocked over his pegs. That was beautiful bowling.
Perth Scorchers lose their second wicket. Both openers have now departed. Jaden Goodwin was looking good, but it has to leave the field with 17 from 17.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd like a lot more runs, but I think he's shown enough just from the 17 balls today that he's got a fair bit to work with. And I think the Scorchers will love to have him as part of their group.
So that wicket brings the captain, Sam Fanning, to the crease. Experienced player, hasn't been able to trouble the scorers too much this campaign, so he'll be looking to guide the Scorchers home. He's able to find a single first ball.
Yeah, they're right in the game here. Obviously a couple of pretty important wickets here. If they can pick up a couple more here, then you'd almost say Bangladesh are on top. It's going to be an interesting 4 or 5 overs coming up.
Raqabal Hassan holds the key for Bangladesh. This one's into the wicket. Positive running between Wiley and Fanning.
So we've got a fair bit of protection straight, long on, long off. Cow and backward square.
Faster delivery. Fanning elects to knock that back. So a breakthrough for Raqabal Hassan's first over. The score is now 2 for 38 with 6 overs gone.
So the run rate and the required run rate have come a little bit closer, but that's what happens when you get a wicket. So they just got to keep chipping away here, build the pressure with some dots, and if they can get the run rate to be pushing out to 7, then the pressure starts to come back on the Scorchers lineup.
It's Wiley on strike. Work to mid on. They look for 2. That's great running. We didn't see that type of pressure on the deep fielders in the first innings. Sam Fanning, captain, showing his leadership. He was quick out of the blocks, turned hard, immediately called yes, gave it the full dive to make his ground, shy from the fielder. It was a little bit wide. Tegan Wiley's just gone about his business to make his way to 20 off 16. The score's already on 40. This one will just be the single.
Yeah, Fanning traditionally has been an opening batter, but obviously in a tournament like this, it gives you the opportunity to try a few new things. I'm sure he's batted at 4 in his time as well, but just a slightly different role coming in after the 2 wickets down.
Hassan fires that one down leg side. Umpire Simon Burns signals wide. This one's worked down fine for a single. So just as a point of comparison, it wasn't until the 8th over the Bangladesh side was able to reach 40 runs. Again, pushing hard into the deep. Mid-on fielder elected to go with one hand, fumbled, but luckily the batters had already decided against taking the second run.
They're going to have to look for some wicket-taking deliveries. They're not going to be able to restrict them.
Fanning again able to work the ball in front of the wicket. There's no 2 there, just the single.
Fourth time this pitch has been used, so there's definitely a bit there to work for the bowlers.
Almost a round arm delivery there from Saif Hassan. Trying to see if he can find any purchase out of this wicket. But well navigated by the Scorchers. They're going about their business well. Tegan Wiley, 23 off 19. Joined at the crease by Sam Fanning. Score now 2 for 46.
It's a really good cricket wicket, really, to be honest. Like, as a curator, you certainly wouldn't mind the ball moving sideways. What you don't want is it going up and down, and we haven't seen too much of that. It's been very much sideways movement from the spinners and also the seamers.
Wiley works Rakibal Hassan to the onside.
Happy just taking the singles at the moment. Going okay with the run rate. There's no need to take any risks. A couple of experienced cricketers for a squad like this. Been in this situation many times before.
Reverse sweep comes out and have given. Rakibal Hassan proving to do the damage. He's claimed his second. The lean campaign for Captain Sam Fanning continues. Looking to put pressure back. Brought out the reverse sweep. Umpire John Ganane was convinced that was going on to hit the stumps.
Yeah, he looks like he's disappointed with himself rather than the decision there. I was just saying they didn't need to take any risks, and I'm sure the young cricketers would say that they know those shots. They don't see that any different to playing a forward defence, but for a delivery like that on the stumps, at this stage of the game, when you know what you're chasing, it doesn't necessarily, I don't see the point in playing that shot. I'd just be pushing it down the ground, get off strike, get yourself in. There's not a lot to be gained from playing a cross-bat shot at this stage of the game when you're already 2 down.
Certainly high risk. Rakibal Hassan shown he was able to spin the ball with that wicket of Jaden Goodwin, and again was able to create a little bit of purchase to hit the front pad of Fanning there. He's now claimed 2 for 5. And you sense the belief in the Bangladesh outfit. Joel Curtis to the crease now. He was composed in yesterday's match. Was able to find the gaps and time the ball sweetly. Made 30 off 31.
Bangladesh supporters have found some voice, sensing they're right in this match.
This one, Curtis off the mark, working that to deep square. Joel Curtis, a player who has plundered runs in WA Premier Cricket before getting a Shield debut and making 100 against Victoria at the Junction Oval. Another bright talent in the WA ranks. Paddle sweep, another strong appeal. This time denied by umpire John Ganane. You can sense the energy and excitement. There is no doubting that the Bangladesh side is up for the contest here, and this match is evenly poised.
Again, getting a little bit funky there. High risk, high reward. Let's see how they go with this tactic.
Short hit out to mid-on for a single. Yep. Steve, I feel Rakibul Hassan holds the key for Bangladesh. If I'm the Perth Scorchers, I'm just seeing him off, trying to reduce the damage. He's already got 2 in 2 overs. No more, and just get the runs from the other end.
Yeah, he's spot on. He's only got 12 more balls left. Last thing you want to do is give him a couple more wickets by playing reverses and ramps. You just need to be playing smart cricket, get through, even if it does only cost you 3 or 4 per over, that's okay, because you can score runs off the other guys. They're only chasing a little bit more over a run a ball, which in modern day T20 cricket, that's not too hard to do. When you've got the fielding restrictions and you've got plenty of space out in the outfield, you can work the 2s, you can work the 1s, as we've spoken about earlier. There's no need to get too funky when you're 3 for 50 and you only need 74 runs from 72 balls. It should be comfortable going for the Scorchers if they're smart here.
Bowling change. We'll see the introduction of pace again. Ahmed. Curtis advances. Little inside edge. Will just be the single out to backward square. But another sign of intent.
Yeah, they're certainly batting positive.
Not letting the bowlers settle is such a crucial element to T20 cricket, and I think that's maybe what, when the Bangladesh side reflect on their batting unit, you think of how Hussain went about his innings. They let the bowlers dictate terms to them too much. Worked onto the onside, potentially 2. They'll think about it. Curtis is quick. Throw goes to the keeper's end. Safely home. Again, Tegan Wiley able to find the gap and the placement to come back for a 2. Must have done that 5 or 6 times now in his innings so far.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like getting out because he's batting smart here. He's working his 2s. He's played a lot of cricket. He knows what he's doing. As I said earlier, he's been in this situation many times before. I don't think we're going to see him doing too many reverses or trying to get big 6s over cow corner. He's just going to continue to work it around. He'd be happy to come off with 50 runs off 45 balls or 60 runs off 55 balls. He'd be very happy with that. Doesn't need to do it as quick as he did the other day.
A little bit of width. Come through for a single.
Plenty of voice from the Bangladesh camp, cheering their teammates on.
Had exceptional support from the Bangladesh community here in Darwin. Again, well timed, hit straight to mid-off. They set off showing experience beyond their years to young players, but they haven't looked Dawson.
They're going to have to try and work out a bit of a strategy here about where they're going to get a catch.
Advancing again. Taking a single down to mid-off is Curtis.
Yeah, that was good batting. Using his feet, no risk. Hit the ball hard down for an easy single.
Wiley does elect to paddle sweep again. This time he's able to make contact. Ball goes fine for a single.
So they've got to catch her at short cover and mid-wicket. They're probably the best bet in terms of getting a catch in front of the wicket.
This one a dot to mid-wicket.
Also cutting off those singles there, trying to build a few dots, build a bit of pressure.
Dot again as Rakibal Hassan throws the ball back into the wicketkeeper. Curtis just slightly out of his ground after advancing that delivery. Three consecutive dots as Rakibal Hassan continues to build pressure, but as we mentioned, they might be happy just to see him out without any further damage.
Yeah, I think they've got the memo. They've realised that they don't need to score all the runs off him. He's bowling very well.
Outstanding figures of 2 for 9 as he looks to finish his third over. This one was quicker into the wicket. Work to the leg side, and again, brilliant placement, great running. They seem to have an excellent understanding, this pair. Both exceptional athletes as they hurry back for the second.
Yeah, beautiful soft hands there. Didn't hit it hard enough that the fielder had any chance of cutting off the two there, as we spoke about earlier. That was really, really good batting and smart running. As you said, there's some good athletes in this side. I've walked past all the teams at different stages being out on the ground, and yeah, these guys in particular, the Scorchers, they've got 6'3" blokes and look like they could be at the Olympics, some of them. They're very, very strong, fit and agile, which is obviously a great quality to have in T20 cricket.
Undoubtedly. Tegan Wiley on strike. Oh, non-striker and bowler collide. The ball got through. And they come through for a single. Steve, something to give our Bangladesh fans some hope. Yesterday, the Perth Scorchers were 3 for 76, chasing 111. Moments later, they were 8 for 100. So there was a collapse yesterday. If If they can just take another wicket or two, they can put this middle order under pressure again. There is the reverse sweep, and that is smashed out to backward square. What a shot from Joel Curtis. Exceptional skill as he went down on one leg, slapped that backward of point. There was a deep cover, but there was too much pace for him to come around.
Yeah, Hassan's a little bit hittable in terms of the reverse. Figures now of none for 22 off his 2.2. So a lot less risk at this end. Beautiful shot.
This time advancing, just look to use his crease throughout his innings. Just the single on this occasion.
Yeah, very much as we spoke about, they're targeting one end to score their runs, and the other one, they're happy to see him off, which is very, very intelligent batting.
Another single to Wiley. Raqibal Hassan has 1 over of his 4 remaining. Are you using it now, Steve, or are you holding it back?
I'd be using it now. I think it's you can't let the game get away from you. I'd possibly try and bring a catcher in.
Curtis hard out to the cover sweeper.
It is a risk that you'll lose him and the game will move on, but I think ultimately if they don't do something now, the game's going to get away. The run rate's now getting under a run a ball.
Bowled him! There's the wicket that they needed. Tegan Wiley looked to free his arms. Whether he got a little inside edge or the ball just shot through. But a much needed wicket as Bangladesh stay in this contest.
Yeah, huge wicket there. I'd be very interested to see the replay here. Did appear to stay a bit lower, which we haven't seen a lot of so far. The pitch has played pretty true in terms of up and down. We just have a look at the replay now. He might have chopped on, did he?
I think he must have.
Yeah.
Looked to be wide of the stumps, and then Wiley slashed at it with fast hands before the ball cannoned into middle stump.
Yeah, it's a combination of the two. I think there it's definitely stayed a bit lower, and he's got it on the bottom of the bat and chopped it back on. So he could probably consider himself a little bit unlucky there. And it's a huge wicket. Bangladesh right in this game.
Brings Nick Hobson to the crease, who looked in control in yesterday's match. It was Curtis and Hobson who combined for the majority of the runs. Hobson made 27 off 26. So he had a promising start and contribution. He's another player with plenty of Big Bash experience.
Yeah, probably best known for his heroics in the BBL 12 final against Brisbane with Cooper Connolly.
Yes, undoubtedly. I think we'll all remember those moments for many years to come. The moment that Hobson announced himself to Australian cricket fans. Here he is to face his first ball. Playing from the crease. Hassan again throwing back hard to the batter, and the umpire John Ganane is saying that's not what we want to be seeing. There has been a tightening in ICC regulations on that type of action. It's determined that the bowler has a duty of care to the batter, and if there's not a realistic chance of a run out and you throw and hit them, then there can be repercussions.
Yeah, it's just common sense there, I suppose, isn't it? If you think you're a chance of getting someone run out, then fair enough, have a ping. But if not, then it really is unnecessary. There's probably a 50-50 one there, to be fair to the thrower. He did leave his crease briefly, but fair enough, the umpire steps in. Just a friendly reminder is always good.
Yes, no, good that they're showing their authority and keeping the match played in the right spirit, which we've seen throughout this top-end series. Paddle sweep goes fine. Curtis stumbles and falls over, so he may not be able to get back, but yeah, they would have had 3 had Curtis not had fallen over. Just lost his grip in the spikes there, but still able to come back for a second. And he's looked composed again, Joel Curtis. Looks like someone who knows his game well, is able to access various areas of the ground. Helps himself to another single.
Again, doing it pretty comfortably here now. Run rate not an issue. If these two can bat for a little while, they're going to take the game away.
Hobson is a powerful and aggressive player. Skews that one out to mid-off. Curtis again in and out of his crease, putting pressure on the mid-off fielder, who does well to keep it to 1. Scores now 4 for 75. Perth Scorchers need 49 from the 48 remaining deliveries.
Yeah, they certainly hold the upper hand with 6 wickets still in hand. A runner ball, the target. But there's enough there for the bowlers, so as we know, we've seen enough cricket to know that things can change quickly. If we get a couple more wickets here, we've seen the Scorchers collapse already in recent times. So Bangladesh would think they're right in this game.
It's going to be Hassan to continue after a short delay. The umpires have convened and look to be having a look at the ball, whether the dew has set in and potentially softened up the seam. Looks like we might be looking for a replacement ball. We'll just wait for confirmation. Just as we have a short break, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the many series partners of this top-end T20 series, including Tourism NT, the Northern Territory Government, Northern Territory Major Events, Bet365, the Airport Development Group, DXC Technology, Thrifty, Kookaburra, Territory Sports Medicine and Gatorade. A massive thank you for your support, making this fantastic competition possible. So the umpires are looking for a ball in similar condition. It's at the 12 over mark. I mentioned Kookaburra as being a partner here. The Kookaburra turf ball used in all matches this year. They've been a wonderful introduction for this 2025 top-end series.
We have lost a couple of balls at this venue as well. Obviously, Tim David hit a couple on the roof, which was entertaining. And even in the top-end series, we had quite a few through the cow corner over there near the light tower, go out the road and not be found. So we've had to replace the ball a few times, thanks to Kookaburra.
No, if anyone's out running the Abala Loop here in Marara, there's a chance that they might find a cricket ball that's been deposited by one of these stars and emerging players in the top-end series. So after a short delay. We're ready to get proceedings back underway. Hobson to face Hassan. Quick single. Went straight to backward point. There wasn't a lot of pace on it. Fielder came in, was unable to make a direct hit that might have made things interesting. Scorchers continuing to put the Bangladesh fielders under pressure. This one's up-ish! Hits a short cover. I was blinded by the fielder who dived full length. May need a replay to see if that carried half a chance at best if it did, but they may be the moments that Bangladesh need if they're going to restrict Perth from the 48 runs required. Curtis again through cover, this time beats the gap. That will run into the boundary for 4 more impressive signs from Joel Curtis.
He's in the action there, a fifth. This time it's gone just to his right. He couldn't quite reach it. And the one before, he was quite athletic in the catching attempt. It's all happening. There's still a big chance here. If they can pick up a wicket, things can change. It might not be a caught though. We're looking at the scorecard. We've got 3 bowled and an LB, and that's been a trend over the last few days. So it could be bowling stump to stump.
Curtis works the onside for 1. Steve, I mentioned the collapse of the Perth Scorchers yesterday. They were cruising at 3 for 70 before being 8 for 100. The catalyst for that was taking the power surge. They lost their first wicket of Hobson after taking that, so I just wonder if they'll learn their lesson and hold the power surge back. Just continue to work the ball around to try and chase down these remaining runs.
Yeah, they're in a position where they don't need to make it tight, aren't they? So they can just work it now.
The only reason would be to try and improve your net run rate if you've got a feeling that you might be level on points. Hold him, what a delivery. That has done him all ends up. Hobson looks back at the wicket with some disbelief. We saw Hassan spin a couple from as early as the first over, bowling to Goodwin at the time. Now that looked to be an absolute seed. Well bowled. Naheem Hassan taking the 5th wicket of the Perth Scorchers and just keeping the interest in this game.
Yeah, sometimes as a batter you just go well bowled and you have to walk off. That is not the delivery that was the wicket, unfortunately. That replay, sorry to the viewers, but that was an absolute beautiful delivery. This might be the wicket now. No.
Waiting with bated breath to
best ball of the day so far. We want to see it again.
I'm sure they'll get it for us in a moment, but the crucial thing is that's now 5 down, and we're starting to get into this middle and latter order of the Perth Scorchers, which has shown more than vulnerability throughout the T20 top end series. Matthew Spores did a terrific job with the ball earlier, now required to steady the ship after a couple of quick wickets. It'll be Curtis to face the first over of the next end. Chowdhury, left armour back into the attack.
Game on again, wicket changes everything. Bangladesh supporters, all of a sudden decibels have raised. Enthusiasm has raised.
Can hear plenty of support. Game has sprung to life. Curtis again pushing hard for 2. Siding against it. The fielder did well there. Picking up with one hand. Firm throw back into the wicket keeper. Brings Spores on strike.
So a fair bit of protection behind square again. We do have one long and straight, but there's still plenty of twos around.
Don't want to moz him, but Spores had a first baller yesterday. Can he navigate that today? Yes. Well played out to deep cover. It's a shot of authority to start for Matthew Spores. Bowled some tidy leg spin in the first innings. Was able to skid the ball on to take a couple of LBs.
Yeah, just a little bit too much width there from Chowdhury. Able to free the arms.
Curtis advances, looking to put Chowdhury under pressure. It's gone hard out to the deep cover fielder, who's just managed to prevent the 4, but they will come back for 3. Joel Curtis hasn't gone into his shell. Looking to continue his positive approach.
Yeah, he's been here for a while now and he's starting to look really comfortable. Scoring pretty comfortably all around the wicket.
Spores takes 1 down to third man.
The run rate really has never got any stage out of hand. It's because of their positive intent from the word go. They would have learnt from the first innings. We're probably a little bit critical of Bangladesh and their approach. And the Scorchers have definitely come out and been very busy.
Last ball of the 14th over. Good pace. Chowdhury really bent the back and got that one to skip through the wicket. Curtis, who's looked unfazed through his innings, playing and missing, maybe lucky not to get any edge on that.
There's certainly something in it for the bowlers if you put it in the right areas. Just short of a length for the pace bowlers. We've seen some lift, we've seen some movement. The spinners have caused all sorts of problems at times. As we see here, probably limited footwork there. Probably was only ever going to result in a dot ball or out.
Full ball. Spores helps himself to a single to long on.
So it's been a productive over without a lot of risk.
So a few signs of advancing again is Curtis. Just the single to long on. They've gone with Saif Hassan to bowl this over. Naeem Hassan had completed his 4 with that excellent wicket in the last over from this end. Oh, again looking plenty of energy from the Bangladesh fielders. The wicketkeeper running all the way outside the inner ring to try and support his fielder at the relay. Slipped on the dewy surface.
We had 3 of them trying to raffle it there. Shows that they're keen, they're switched on, they're up and about.
Back in his crease, full delivery, just a little inside edge, but able to find the gap for 1. Steve, Rakabal Hassan still has 1 over remaining. When is the right time to bring him back?
Soon as possible.
Single to backward square.
So next over, you've got to do it now. You've only got 30 runs to play with, a bit over 30 runs. And you've got some talents out here right now that you need to get rid of.
Curtis lofts over the bowler's head. He got plenty of that. That's raced away. Mid-on fielder stood no chance. 4 more to Curtis, who continues to put pressure back onto Bangladesh.
Yeah, beautiful footwork there, timing, all the above. There's been a really good mix of shots all around the wicket. The wagon wheel will be pretty impressive. As we watch the replay here, really still, got to the pitch of the ball, followed through. For the kids at home, that's how you play T20 cricket.
Super impressed with Joel Curtis through the 2 matches that we've seen him play. He's been someone that's had to really work for his opportunities within WA cricket. He's made a lot of runs at club level. Has experience here in Darwin, having played with the Southern Storm in the old Strike League. So he'll know these conditions and facilities well. Spores beats cover, well timed. Minoff has some work to do. 2 more to the total. So it is Rakabal Hassan. He's taken 2 wickets throughout this innings. You have a feeling he needs to take at least 1 more with his remaining 5 deliveries.
Yeah, this is it. This is the game right here, right now. He's definitely looked like the class bowler out of the group. Curtin and Spores will be fully aware. They'll probably be happy to get through this over with a couple of singles, and if they have to, a dot, but they really just need to get through this over, and they're well on the way to winning.
Fired in. Curtis does well to clear his front leg, and again, so quick between the wickets. Curtis was in and out. The fielder had to elect to throw to the further end at the bowler's end. Spores was able to make his way back. That ability of Wiley and Curtis to find the 2s to keep this scoreboard ticking over has been crucial. Again, flat. The non-striker and the bowler coming close there.
I think they need to roll the dice a little bit now and maybe bring a catcher in close, bring some of those boundary riders out. They need to make something happen here.